How's it going, boys and girls? Today is either going to be a really fun day, an exciting day, or it's going to be an absolutely stressful mess. It's going to go one of two ways, and that all depends on what happens with these tiny rare lizards that we are going to be putting in the bioactive vivarium. And if you guys remember this video right here, you guys will remember that we built some absolutely fantastic bioactive vivariums thanks to enclosure, and today they have finally cycled. They've rooted and established well enough where I feel it is ready to put these amazing rare lizards inside of them. What exactly are the lizards I'm talking about? You'll have to stick around to find out. Stick around while we show off these incredibly rare species of anoles and geckos and everything in between. And of course, check out how the progress has been going in those bioactive vivariums that we made all those weeks ago. Let's get into it. Here we are on the second level. Now, these are the enclosures that we've done a couple of weeks to a month ago now, and honestly, they've been doing absolutely fantastic. Cleaning has been going well. The cleanup crew has been active inside of these. We did have the spiderwoods mold over. However, of course, after giving the proper amount of time for the enclosure cycle and the springtails to get to work, you can see there is now little to no mold on any of these spiderwood pieces. This is just one of the reasons why I suggest that 4 to 6 cycle period. Let the cleanup crew do the job. Funky stuff's gonna go around in the enclosure, but it's gonna figure itself out eventually, usually around 4 to 6 weeks, and then at that point, it's safe to put the reptile in, and you're good to go. I have a commenter make a question that I think would be relevant and helpful for a lot of people, so I do want to answer that before we get this started because it's prevalent to what we are going to be doing right now beforehand. And that question was going to be how to keep plants alive when you first have an established enclosure. When you're first trying out, you're putting the plants in, how do you keep them going? Because some people are not having success with it. A couple things I do to keep it going is, number one, when you first plant the enclosures, give it a nice, healthy watering. You don't want to water so much where your drainage layer is overfilled with water and water is collecting up in there, but you want a nice, healthy flush going on inside the roots, inside the soil. The reason for that is, of course, you're going to get some root shot. The roots and the plant itself has been uprooted from its perfect little home inside of a pot into this vast layer of soil, so it wants to start spreading itself out, getting into those water to start absorbing water again. Overall, the plant will get stressed for a little bit, at least I'd say like a couple of days to a week. It's going to freak out a little bit, but as long as your parameters are okay, that being your lighting, the amount of water in your substrate, the drainage ability of your substrate, everything, that all of those factors combined, your plant should correct itself over time. Another common problem I see, and even myself, you can see in some of these enclosures I took place, was where you're putting your plant. So this baby rubber plant right here in the back, that's a little too dark from the plant. The plant obviously didn't like that. It might have been a little too much moisture for it as well, and it eventually died. So actually, before we do put stuff in, we are going to uproot that and put a little bit of a better species. That I would recommend in these little shady areas like where that plant was would actually be a begonia, a low light requiring plant. That way, it's not going to try to force itself into the light to get to where these LEDs over are, and overall, it's going to thrive in that little space that we're giving it. To sum up the question for you, viewer, and for anyone else that might have this problem, there are going to be 3 key things that you want to look for, and that's you're either overwatering or underwatering your plants, depending on what the plant is doing. Your lighting situation may not be enough. You know, just something like the basking light in the UVB bar is not going to be enough lumens. It's just some of these higher requirement lights like the polka dot plant, ferns, things like that. Don't stress out too much. It happens to the best of us. You can see even me, I've been doing this for a minute now. Even before Project Jungle, Dakota Blue Exotics, I was making bioactive vivariums, and even I mess up. As you can see with this baby rubber duck plant, and not the baby rubber duck plant. Baby rubber plant and the purple waffle plant, I've made some mess ups. I'm gonna have to refresh those, get some new plants going on in there over time. So for the enclosure number 1, to replace the baby rubber plant, we are going to do a begonia rec. It's actually gonna much enjoy this shaded area. The begonia is gonna thrive in this area right here. There we got it. A little bit of a nice little begonia. This lighting situation is going to change as well, so a little bit more shaded than they would be usually, which is why I think this is gonna work perfect for where that begonia is situated. Next up on the list is going to be a little difficult. The plant I have chosen, the fact is, there's actually already an animal in here. Yesterday, the female Anoles marmoratus made a run for it while I was doing health checks on everybody, and I chased her around for about 30 minutes. It was a complete disaster. She gave me the runaround for quite a while, and eventually I finally caught her, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this all over again tomorrow when I make this video. So I ended up putting her in here. I can see she's like right at the top right corner. Hopefully with these 12x18s, they feel a little bit more safe. They have a little bit more space, whereas in those 8x12 temporary enclosures, they're kind of bouncing around. They usually just come flying out. So we'll play this a little bit more safe. So let's just hope that she doesn't mind me being over here when she's all the way over there. Alrighty, one last thing is I want to set up some new lighting for these guys. Well, let me go set it up real quick. There we have it. Now, this is a little bit of a DIY type situation. Now, what I did is actually use one of my shop lights, just what you usually find in garages, workshops, everything like that. These are just going to be the standard T8 bulbs that you just, well, for shop stuff. It makes light. Now lastly, with some UVB, I was able to squish everything together. So we got the basking T8 bulbs here, the grow light here, and then the UVB bar lasting. Still giving some nice area effect, some other lighting, which really boosts this up. And then of course, as we know with the anoles and day geckos, they need this UVB. So we've got everything going. Now it's time for the fun part. Moving the anoles and day geckos. Ooh, misty grow tent. The ferns absolutely love the humidity, so we put a little humidifier in there for everyone. Boys, I'm sorry to say this is not going to be as fun and amazing content as it usually is. I'm actually going to be using this grow tent as a second medium in case these anoles get away from me. Then they're just going to flop down and I can try to get them out of the grow tent instead of chasing them around here. I've learned from the anoles marmoratus, we're not making that mistake again. We're still show them off on the camera when I have a good hold on them. But yeah, not doing it again. I've learned and I don't want to do that. Next up on the list, Anoles macuba. Now this is going to be the male. We have both the male and the female to grab, so okay. All right, I just got to be a man, you know? I bought these lizards and I'm gonna grab them, just with a lot of protection. Whoops, I hope that didn't hit a plant. Here we are, first on our list, Anoles macuba, an absolutely incredible small species of anole. You guys can see the males display this absolutely because he's firing down, of course, because he's getting stressed out, but they display this amazing black with these vivid white polka dot pattern that goes down to the body that then translucents, transides to a bluish green. Usually when they're fired up, it's a lot prettier. It's a nice like lime green to blue, but this guy's not too happy right now, so obviously it's gonna show. Ain't so bad. Look, you're going into a new incredible enclosure. Head on. Oh my gosh. Oh, he loved it. He wanted to go in immediately. Up on the list, we have the female Anoles macuba. She definitely seems to be a little bit more braver than her male counterpart. That guy just seems to want to dash every time I open the enclosure, where she seems a little more brave. Here we are, the Anoles macuba female. Something that's really awesome about these guys is, you know, usually with the Anoles, you'll find that with the anole species, the females are kind of bland and boring, and the males really have the stunning. And don't get me wrong, the male macuba is fantastic, but the female has some cool stuff, that nice stark black across the eyes and then that blue hue that goes down her, and she seems to stay fired up a lot. But of course, don't want to stress these out too much. Let's bring her back in. Oh, it's awesome seeing animals in these new Vivs, man. I've waited weeks for this and it's finally happening. All right, let's get the next one. Pooped on me. Now that's all I can smell on my hands. Next up on the list, the male marmoratus. Now this guy is probably the largest of all the micro anoles that we're working with, or small anoles, whatever you want to call them. Jesus Christ, these root systems. Look at that, right out of the pod and dug itself into the substrate. My God. The Anoles marmoratus. Now, usually when these guys are fired up, they have a fiery head, also known as the Leopard anoles. Ooh, a little feisty. Also known as the Leopard anoles, these guys have a fire, bright orange, yellow head that then goes into a really bright neon green body. Obviously, while fired down, being stressed out with everything, we're not going to be able to see that, but I'm sure I can grab some B-roll before this video is done to show the true colors of the marmoratus. Last time I saw the female, she actually ironically darted into the oh, the macuba's fired up. Oh, sweet, hang on. You guys see it right here? This is the female macuba, but you guys see what I'm talking about? That black line going back and almost that teal coloration. I can see the tail. You can see it right there, the tail of the male, but he looks like he's staying a little hidden. The female's always been a little bit more better, a little bit more less gun shy about being out in the open, which is awesome. Macuba's out a lot too, so I'm assuming that these guys are going to be out a lot of the time, whereas stuff like the marmoratus, you can see her right next to that little maroon, is going to take a little bit more time to become out in the open. Alrighty, now here's where things are going to get a little dicey. Oh boy, alright, so these guys are going to be Anoles carolensis, otherwise known as the common green anole. Now something I absolutely love about these guys is the same reason why I loved keeping the crocodile skinks, keeping and breeding the tokay geckos. That is going to be they have parental instinct. Not necessarily parental instincts, but they are a communal species of anoles, which means you can have a group of them together and they won't eat the babies. Something that I really want to see and I'm excited for. I know a lot of people talk shit about the green anoles, but I think they're awesome. Here's the issue. Fortunately, due to the fact that I wanted to make sure we have UVB and good heat on everyone, I actually ended up pairing the last two. So the Anoles The green anoles and the lineatus are both paired right now, which means I have to grab one without the other one or the one I'm trying to grab escaping. So hopefully this all goes well. This is why we're doing the grow tent, so stuff like this, we have a preventable measure, but let's see how it works. Right here is the female. Obviously these guys, all of them are gonna be stressed out because I moved their lighting. They're freaked out. I'm moving the enclosure. They're all gonna fire down. They fire down and up really fast. You saw that the anoles macuba, she was fired down immediately when she got in there, fired up. Really cool to see. But this is the girl. Next up, she's trying to find a spot where she can run to. Let's get her in the enclosure and then grab that male. There we go. Now let's grab the male over here. Always the funny thing with small lizards is you don't want to have it too, like you see, I don't want to put this hard of a grasp on it because obviously you don't want to hurt the animal, but it's able to slick itself out. Now let's see if we can get the dewlap on this one. You see that nice, oh, you can't see it because my bandage. There we go. Even fired down, that nice pink dewlap going on. Absolutely awesome. This dude is definitely pissed off. He wants to go back with his girlfriend. Let's get him on in. This is so cool. Oh man, I'm so stoked. Ah, he peed on me. Darn. Check this out, look how fast this is. This is like real time. You can see him firing up. They used to be so dark, it does have some shed on the tail. And then the female herself, you could already see her getting green. Look at how dark brown she was in with inside that enclosure and moving her, versus now she's under full spectrum lighting, nice heat, perfect humidity, and now she's starting to fire up. I bet by the time we pull these lineatus and put them in, this girl will also be fully fired, and most likely the male too. You can already see him going. Got the macuba now in the corner of the sphagnum moss, and the females chilling out in the basking corner. Oh man, look at this. Just these tiny little dudes in this incredible enclosure. Okay, I saved the worst for last. Now, this isn't gonna be anoles. These are actually going to be my day geckos, the Phelsuma lineatus. I am... Oh, luckily with the anoles, I don't really have to worry about drop tails. Do they drop their tails? I don't actually, I'm not sure. Phelsuma lineatuses, man, they came to me with drop tail, regrown tails, I should say. So, not only do you have to worry about grabbing them, make sure they don't run off, but now you gotta be even more careful, because if you actually go a little too far and grab the tail, they're gonna drop it, which is something we don't want. So, we saved the worst one for last. Also the fact they're paired together. So the same situation where I have to make sure one doesn't escape while I'm going after the other one. Let's see how it works. Oh, get day geckos, Dakota. It's a great time. Dakota, get the Phelsuma lineatus. They're great. It's a rare species. No one has them. Yeah, I bet there's a fucking reason. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3. Oh god, he's peeing on my band-aid. Phelsuma lineatus, the first one. I'm putting him up. Oh, this one's fast. Okay. Oh, you're so cute. Look at your big eye. I'm taking a picture of you. All right, she's I'm gonna throw her in. Sorry, guys. Yes, both tails intact. Yeah. Let's go. Woo. Just when you're having a good day, the zipper gets caught. Oh. Yeah, got it. Okay, back to celebrate. Oh man, yeah, the Marmoratus aren't out yet. I like how this kind of fogs over for the Marmoratus because they are a little bit more shy. But the greens are out. What's the lineatus doing? Finally seeing animals. What you bobbing at me for? Such a treat, dude. All that hard work building all these to finally seeing the fruits of the labor, animals enjoying it. There's no better feeling, man, I tell you. This is incredible. Well, folks, looks like this is a little sneak peek onto the 2025 breeding year. We now have the Anoles macuba paired, the Anoles marmoratus paired, the Anoles carolensis, and then the Phelsuma lineatus. Absolutely incredible to see, man. Now, obviously, we are in the dead of winter right now. This is taking place in December, so I don't expect anything to happen now, but we have everyone paired. We have their final breeding enclosures going. The only bad caveat to this is why I do give a lot of leeway to breeders when it comes to bioactive vivariums. I think a hybrid model should be utilized, but the issue is this is so tightly packed with beautiful plants, hardscapes, stuff for them to just enjoy and have fun in. It's gonna be super difficult trying to get eggs in here. I honestly don't know if I'll be able to find eggs or if I'm just gonna end up seeing a little baby running around and having to grab it real quick. It'll depend on how observant I am. I'm gonna try to be really hard with these anole species so I can see when the females grab it, I'll see when she starts digging, and I'll take note of where those holes are so I have a better idea of where to look for those eggs. Overall, could not be happier with this. No missing tails, no missing body parts, no lost animals, and they all got to go in these amazing enclosures. All in all, I say today, pretty good day. As always, boys and girls, if you missed this video of building these bioactive enclosures, here's that video right there. This is, you can see step by step on how I was able to build all these incredible Vivs. Maybe you want to check out some of our more Project Jungle stuff and the other bioactive builds we've done, because there's a lot. Here's that one right there. As always, thank you so much for taking the time of your day to follow us over here at Dakota Blue Exotics. I will see you guys next time, but until then, goodbye.